Hello, everybody. My name is Mateo Harking. I go by the name MateoTechLab online, and I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about how I built a difference by building things. So a little bit about me. My name is Mateo. I was born in Canada. I live in Canada. I am still a student, and I used to live in West Africa. I love to travel, to visit new places, to meet new people. So coming here to Miami and meeting every one of you has been a true pleasure for me because I love talking and sharing my experience and being able to meet people who have similar interests as I do. I'm really passionate about science, but also filmmaking. So I love to be able to combine my passion of science and filmmaking through my YouTube channel, my YouTube videos on MateoTechLab. And a little bit about me is that everything I do is self-taught. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about my journey, how I got to where I am today, how I started by just building projects for fun to eventually representing Canada internationally. And at the end of this presentation, I'm also going to share with you one of my personal videos, which shares my journey, exactly how I'm going to describe it to you here, but in a lot more detail. And you're also going to get to see some behind-the-scenes video clips of me actually building my projects as I describe them. So I say that I started engineering when I was 15 years old, but really I've always been a maker. I've always loved to create with Legos, and after Legos I was obsessed with building Minecraft worlds. I made these insane buildings, and then eventually that translated into my newest passion, which has been 3D printing. So when I heard about 3D printers, I knew right away that I just had to have one. I could realize any idea that I had in my mind and actually bring it to life in just a matter of hours. And if that's not magic to you guys, I really don't know what is. So anyways, I started doing my research, looking into 3D printing, deciding exactly what I was going to get to build all these projects. But there was a little bit of a problem because I didn't have one, and I knew I'd have to get one somehow. I was still a student. I was about 14 when I was looking into 3D printing. And so I asked my parents if I could get a 3D printer, which is not a small ask exactly, but they usually, they usually give me everything I wanted. I'm not speaking badly about my parents at all. My mom's over there in the corner. She's filming me right now, and she just wanted me to make sure that I would get the most use out of something if I got it. So she said, just wait, just think about it. And so instead, I decided to save my money and just buy it myself. Eventually, after building all these projects and making it to these places, she did offer to pay for the 3D printer, but I said no thank you because I like this story a lot better. So I started making personal projects when I was 15. My first technical project that I made, aside from just like printing models online, was making an Iron Man hand. This was an awesome project of mine. I just bought some batteries, I got some wires, some LEDs, and I wanted to put something together to be a fun Halloween costume, and nothing more. So this is me wearing the Iron Man hand here on the left side, and on the right you've got a picture of Tony Stark with the arm as well. And it was a really fun project to make. I had a lot of fun building it, but even after I finished building it, I kept finding myself putting the gauntlet on because it was just a magical feeling to be able to control something that felt so robotic. And it made me wonder, what if I could control something robotic like this without having to wear it? So this led to me making some personal projects. I knew if I was ever going to build something so complicated, I was first going to first have to learn how to code. And I didn't want to wait for a class to teach me because I was just in high school at the time and I wanted to start right now. So I made my first robotics project. I called it Need a Hand with That. It was a simple robotic hand. I downloaded a prosthetic hand model online, rigged it up to some of these wires back here, these nylon threads, attached it to these servo motors, that's the blue and white parts over here. They were able to rotate and turn and pull on the strings of the robotic hand so that the fingers could move when I put my hand in front of the camera. And that was amazing for me. I saw so much potential in this technology, and I was really inspired by the potential. I saw that I had so many ideas on how we could use this technology, controlling robotic hands with nothing but a camera. Imagine the potential. You could perform surgery from a distance. You could perform tasks that are too dangerous for humans, like disarming a bomb. You could even perform space station repairs, like the Canada arm. And I'm from Canada, so that works out. I decided to present this project at the first regional expo science that I've ever been to. Well, actually, I was technically there when I was a student, but I was talking about my little toy cars and the aerodynamics behind them. I didn't really make that aerodynamics presentation, but this was a conception project. I made my own robotic hand, and I wanted to present it even though my high school didn't do a science fair. So I talked to one of my physics teachers. He helped me get set up. I made the posters, set myself up, and had a really great time presenting it. I met a lot of amazing people who are really passionate about science, people like you guys who come to these fairs, and I had a blast presenting it. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. But then something interesting happened. I was invited to represent our region at the provincial science fair, which is like the statewide for Americans. And that just kept growing, because after that I was awarded a bronze medal, met even more amazing people, saw even more amazing projects, and was invited to represent my province at the national competition, which was an incredible experience. I ended up leaving the national competition with a silver medalist, a silver medal. I met even more amazing people and was selected to represent Canada and the Milset Mexico International Science Fair, where I met with makers from across the world. I got to see what other people were making in other countries, and that just opened my eyes up to something new. And after that experience, I knew that I wasn't done making and that I was going to keep pushing further. After that first robotic hand was made, I ended up being invited to some places that I never thought I would be invited to, especially as a high school student. Imagine me still in class with my little robotic projects on the side, being asked to go on TV or to give award speeches. It was a whole new world for me, but I was ready for it, and I decided to dive in with both feet. I don't know if that's the expression. My graduating year was very special for me. In Quebec, we graduate high school a year earlier, do 2 years of cégep, and then move on to university. So I was graduating in the class of 2024, and I decided to create an AI assistant there called Jarvis, inspired by the Iron Man movies. But funny story, I wanted to make my valedictorian speech extra special, so I decided to use Jarvis to hack into my school's PA system and play inspirational music as I gave my graduation speech. Since then, I've been moving on to more and more projects. I decided to rebuild my first project, the robotic hand, but this time introduce some new variables to it. Closer? Okay, thank you. So for this project, I decided to just take all the little defects of my first robotic hand, all of its limitations, and really push it to the next limit. I decided to overcome every little challenge, like for example with the first robotic hand, the fingers were either opened or closed, so it could only mirror your hand gestures, but it couldn't go much further than that. With this new addition, I was able to actually calculate the distance between joints and then map it to a different servo rotation so I could get the full range of motion on the robotic hand. But I also knew that I was very limited because it was running off my MacBook's camera, and I wanted to be able to control this robotic hand from anywhere around the world. So that's why I created Pico, the little shoulder robot, the guy who's sitting on my shoulder right now. He's got a little camera, and he's able to scan my hand, like even right now, and he's able to transmit that information to my robotic hand from anywhere across the world. So this is actually realizing much more possibilities, because now you'd be able to control this robotic hand, say, from here in Miami all the way to in Canada. And this opened up so many new possibilities, and I decided to enter my robotic hand into the science fairs once more. But a funny thing happened. I made a YouTube video on my robotic hand, the new one, which I called Flex. And I didn't expect it because I just wanted to make a simple little video that would sit on my MacBook as I gave my presentation at the Expo Science, at the science fairs. And this video started getting views fast. I didn't expect this to happen, but it started getting like over 50,000 views, and it was only a week. So I decided that maybe I should start recording more and more of my projects. I should record the behind the scenes. I should show people what it takes to really make these projects from nothing, because I was making these all from home. And the truth is, anyone can be a maker. You don't have to have a multi-million-dollar setup to start making things. You can make it at home exactly as you are. Like with my little $300 printer that I saved up for, I was able to make all of these amazing projects, and it really inspired me to keep pushing forwards. So I wanted to share with you my journey. This is a video that I made for my YouTube channel, so you guys get to see a little bit about my filmmaking side, as well as what it takes to actually build my projects. I show the behind the scenes and show you guys all the projects that I built up until this year. And afterwards, I'm also going to show you some of my new projects, which I brought with me here on stage. So this video, like I said, it combines a little bit of my passions, some of my filmmaking, some of my engineering, and you get to actually see the projects being built as I explain them to you.
you're a student, the most important piece of advice I can give to you is don't wait for permission to learn. Because you never know where it will take you. And don't let anyone tell you that you need a big $1,000 setup to get started. My $300 printer was basically all I had when I began. And now I build robots and inventions for me and for humanity.
A message has arrived for you. It could be important.
Hold the message. I've actually got one last project before New Year's. You ready, Jarvis?
Ready when you are.
I've been inspired by stories for as long as I can remember. They taught me that heroes aren't defined by what they're given, they're defined by what they make out of what they have. I bought my first 3D printer at 15, and I wanted to challenge myself, to build something technical. So I built a replica of Iron Man's gauntlet, inspired by the stories I grew up with as a kid. And in that moment, I really did feel like a superhero. Not because of the gauntlet, but because of the skills I learned while making it. It was my first time ever soldering wires with the help of my grandfather, and my first experience sizing 3D prints, which has become second nature to me now. But I had this burning question in the back of my mind, one that I could not let go. Every time I put on the Iron Man gauntlet, I kept asking myself, what if I could control this without the need to wear it? And I was determined to figure out how. But most importantly, I didn't wait for a class to teach me. This was my first big project. And it taught me some new valuable skills. For instance, I knew I was going to have to learn coding to make this project work, so I taught myself how. I researched hand tracking technology and learned how to code by breaking down all the open source code I could find online and putting it back together again. I taught myself circuits through messing around with Arduino. Then I brought it all together, and now you could open or close the servos through moving your fingers. Finally, I put it all in one mechanical hand. But this project didn't end here. Even though my high school didn't have a science fair, I still represented us at the regionals and was selected to go to provincials, which I didn't even know existed. But it gets crazier, because I won the bronze medal while competing in my second language and was selected to go to nationals, which I also didn't know existed. But of course, I didn't say no to the challenge. It was new territory for me, but I made connections with other makers and discovered my passion for public speaking, which is why I do YouTube today. By the end of the experience, I had walked out of it a Canadian silver medalist, which I was not expecting at all, especially since this all started from a personal project. But it made me realize that this project has real-world potential and that I could do something with this technology. And now that my name was out there, things were about to change. During my graduating year, I found out I was selected to represent Canada at the International Science Expo in Mexico. I made appearances on TV shows, presenting my project to the world. I spent some time building an AI assistant called Jarvis, who will come back later. But perhaps the most meaningful to me was winning the Young Innovator of Quebec Award, in which I got to give a speech and truly thank my family, who helped me get to where I am today.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the unwavering support from my family. My father, Jose Harking, who always believed in me, is from Nicaragua. My mother, Jennifer Palik, who has been with me every step of the way, is part Italian, Czech, and Polish. And my stepfather, Filip Niadu, who was always there when I needed him, is Ivorian. Overall, my family is a mix of many people from many cultures who all worked so hard to give their kids the opportunities they never had. And now that opportunity is presented to me, and I'm not going to waste it. This award is a testament to that.
I graduated that year as valedictorian and used Jarvis to hack into their speaker system to play music during my graduation speech.
Jarvis, have you hacked into their system yet?
After that year of reflection, I came back into engineering and made my biggest project yet. I wanted to revisit the idea of a robotic hand and improve upon every little flaw of the original. In my first project, the servos were either opened or closed, and there was no in between. So I rewrote the code. Now it calculates the distance between your joints and sends that as a value to the servo so you can get all those precise little micro movements. I also gave it a dual string system so that the fingers are never loose, but perhaps the best part about this project is that you no longer have to be in front of the MacBook camera for it to work. Which means it could be used to do tests too dangerous for humans and possibly save lives. I redesigned the entire hand as well to suit it for extra functionalities like rock, paper, scissors. But my favorite addition was making Pico, my robot companion who sits on my shoulder and scans my hand, sending all the information to Flex. So I decided to take my shot at the science fair again. This was a scary moment for me, especially considering how well I did last time, because there was no guarantee I'd see even the slightest success that I saw the first time. But I gave it a shot anyways, and I did my best. And in the end, I got first place! I honestly couldn't believe it. It was a dream come true. But that wasn't even the biggest result of my project. As I prepared to go to the Canada-wide science fair, I mixed my passion of filmmaking and engineering to make a YouTube video about Flex, and it started getting views fast. If I couldn't be an engineer, I would love to be a filmmaker. But I never thought these worlds could meet until recently. But I love creating on YouTube because it gives me the chance to be the mentor that I never had to other people who are just starting out in the maker community. And if that sounds like you, then I highly recommend checking out this new social media platform called Arc, which is basically a social media for inventors and makers who want to get started and share their builds in progress, and I'm on there too. So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message on Arc, and I'll be happy to respond to you. Arc has been an amazing supporter of my channel throughout my history, and we're here to support you now. Since becoming a YouTube partner, I've rediscovered my love for engineering and making, because now I'm not only building for myself, I'm also building for all of you, and I love it. It inspires me to make awesome projects. For example, I turned Pico into my first open source project, created a Jarvis heads-up display that displays real-time information as you're talking to your AI, and created a real-life Iron Man gauntlet made of real metal. So I guess you could say that after 3 years, I finally finished my first project, and now know what it feels like to be Iron Man in real life. You wanna know what happens next? So do I.
Thank you so much. But I can actually answer that question now. I have made a few projects since. They haven't been released on my YouTube video, but I brought them with me here today so I could show you guys. So this is kind of a sneak peek at these future projects. One of which is this circuits project right here. This is actually my final project for my experimental physics class right now. I had to make a project with using circuits and integrate different disciplines. And this one is able to, it's like a replica of the jukebox from Minecraft, so it's like the real block. I 3D printed it, and I created these little music discs as well with NFC chips inside them, so that's near-field communication. It's the same technology that goes into credit cards when you use your tap, and inside the jukebox there's a little scanner, so it's able to read the different information, so each music disc can be coded to contain its own song. And then once you place the music disc inside the jukebox, you can press the button, it'll lower the disc, and then it's going to start playing the different songs from Minecraft. Thank you. And perhaps my favorite project that's coming up, I haven't made the video for this one yet either, so it's a little bit of a sneak peek, but I made these pair of glasses. These glasses have sensors on the outside, they're laser sensors, and they also have vibration motors on the inside. So when you're wearing them, they're able to detect how far away different objects are. So if something is approaching you, it's able to detect if something is coming towards you, at how fast, and it's able to send vibrations in the direction of the approaching object. So this could warn you of incoming objects before they even reach you, and you could block them before you even see them coming. And I think this would be especially useful for people who are walking alone at night, or even for people who are visually impaired, to help them navigate the world and give them that extra bit of independence. These are some of the projects here. So here's a scan to my YouTube channel, but if I want you guys to take away any message from this, it's that while the world needs people with ideas, the world also needs people who are willing to try them. So I want you guys to be those people, to start making, to start trying, to start building, because there's no better way to get good at something than to simply start doing it. People in my YouTube comments ask me all the time if there's anything or any book or any tutorial that I recommend, but really the truth is that you don't learn how to swim by reading about the ocean. You just have to dive in and do it, because those failures are not failures. That's how learning happens. All those late nights that I spent coding, that was experience. I was building experience. So I'm challenging all of you guys to go out there, to start building projects, and to learn by doing. Thank you.
First of all, that was very inspiring. Thank you so much for going around the world presenting about your journey. So thank you for that. I have a question regarding your glasses. How does the person wearing them get alerted to somebody approaching them?
That's a great question. On the inside of these frames, there's actually little vibration motors. So if something is approaching, it's able to sense how fast something is approaching you, and then it sends a vibration in the direction of the incoming object. So that way you're able to know exactly where it's coming from, and depending on the intensity of the vibration, also how fast it's approaching.
So you feel it on the glasses shake?
Yeah, the glasses, they vibrate. There's sensors and motors that are placed all over the glasses so that you get a full 360 coverage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was that the only music disc that you made, or have you made other ones like Pigstep or...
I have made a few other music discs. I can play another one for you here. I think this one is Blocks. I haven't made Pigstep yet. That is a plan. I know that's a popular Minecraft music disc. But I honestly finished printing this jukebox the night before I came here.
Oh. Yeah, it's cool.
And I can keep adding more songs, too. It's all inside the chips of these music discs. So if ever I want to code more songs, add songs that aren't even from Minecraft, I can definitely add them.
How far can the glasses sense from?
That's a really good question, and that was one that I had to struggle with when I was choosing which sensors to use. I ended up using these infrared laser sensors, so they shoot a beam of light and then take the measurements to see how long it takes for that light to reflect back to the glasses, and it can go all the way up to 4 meters before it loses that strength.
How many subscribers would you have if I subscribed?
If you subscribed, I would have about 29,001, maybe?
What a thing that makes the Minecraft songs. Can I play Steve's Lava Chicken?
Sweet Lava Chicken, from the Minecraft movie. If you want me to add that one, that will be the next one that I add.
All right, give a big round of applause for MateoTechLab.
Thank you so much, everybody. It was a pleasure talking to you.